Hello YouTube, this is GameSotics here and welcome back to another RimWorld Beginners Guide and Tutorial, this time part 2. In part 1 we covered the basics of surviving, building a shelter and providing food, and in this part we're gonna look into more advanced things like building an eating area and a jail, also how to fight a fire, and more about growing medical plants when your medical supplies gets low. Also more about hunting, and lastly how to fight off raiders. So enjoy the video and tutorial. So now I'm building a room. This is basically for food, having a table, chairs, and recreation like a chess table and later on a TV. It's just a room needed and used a lot by your colonists instead of having it outside and weather affecting your mood. Plus adding some special furniture can increase the joy and mood of your colonists. So as you know, sometimes there will be raids on your colony and you will have prisoners, so you need to build a prison to have them there, and later on maybe convince them to join your colony. So that's what I'm doing right now, putting some beds for those prisoners. So I'm just gonna speed up the game here a bit since there isn't much happening. Just gathering some resources and mining and cutting some trees. I'm gonna speed up until the next important part. So it's time to fight this fire. I was just checking on the priority to see if anyone has the check on the firefighting and why they're not doing it automatically. And I found out later on that if the fire was a bit far from your colony, they will not go and fight it. So I choose them manually and get them close to the fire so they can fight it. Otherwise, if it gets too close to one of your buildings, they're gonna go and fight it automatically. Another tip is that you don't have to put it all out, just the places close to your colony, and with time it will just die by itself. So you've got a raid going on here. I need to get my colonists ready for the fight, give them weapons and get them behind cover. Usually if you've built sandbags it's a good thing, otherwise find some rocks and hide behind them. This raid is easy though, as you can see there's just one person attacking and they'll be dead soon. And they're down. So now what I need to do is get someone to capture this prisoner and get them to the prison. It's not happening though since the prison is not ready, so I need to get those beds ready, then there'll be an action to capture that prisoner. Another tip regarding prisoners is to try and keep them happy. Get some nice furniture in the prison to increase their joy and mood. Otherwise they will try to escape every once in a while, and that's just a big headache. So skipping along, you can see I've got my eating room ready with a table and chairs. Another good tip that just come up to my mind is that when you've got raids, sometimes one of your colonists will get injured, and with time your medical supplies are gonna finish. So there's a plant called the heal root that you need to grow from the beginning, since it takes a while to grow. So make sure you do that. It's called heal root, and it's very important, and it will need a lot of time to grow. So another raid happening here. Need to manually control all my colonists, hide them behind cover like said earlier, make sure they've got weapons, and hope for the best. Usually it's better to separate them and not keep them very close. Some of the raiders have grenades, and if you got your colonists very close together, compact, it'll affect them all, so have them spread. Another good point is to pause the game if the raid enemies are very close and you're still not ready. So put your orders for your colonists and then go ahead and click the play button. So one of my colonists did not fight the battle with the others, and I found out later that she has a trait of not liking weapons and not fighting, so she will not fight. And one of the raiders is down injured, so we're gonna capture him. Also make sure to treat him, have a medical bed available in the prison so he doesn't die on you, and maybe in the future he'll join your colony. As you know, food is very important in this game. You can hunt food, which is the quickest, easiest way if you have got animals around your colony. Otherwise you have to grow crops. I suggest potatoes and corn since it's easiest to grow and very filling up. Also make sure your crops are not eaten by animals. I've found out that the hard way after growing lots of crops and finding them all gone. I've noticed that stray animals around are eating them, so make sure to protect your plants. You probably noticed I'm building another room here. This will be a medical room, like a clinic with medical beds. Instead of having my beds all together in one room, I'm gonna have a separate room with medical beds, just to make things organized and make colonists sleeping in the sleeping area not bothered by too much movement of treating other injured colonists. I'm gonna speed up things again here just to show you what the clinic and medical room will look like, and that's what my colonists are building right now. While this is being built, another good tip is to later on, if you've got more colonists and lots of resources, build each colonist a different separate room. This will make them more happy and increase their morale and mood, which is a very good thing to have, especially if you're working them long hours. So we've got one successful attempt to recruit one of the prisoners, and he's just joined our colony. We've got one more active colonists, as you can see on top. Now we've got 5. I'm just checking what are the characters and skills of this new recruit, and I've seen that he is good at medical and good at research. So these are two things that we can apply using this recruit. And with this last tip, I'm getting to the end of this guide and tutorial. Hope you enjoyed the video and helpful for you guys. I'm gonna continue on this guide and tutorial series and get into more advanced things later on. So this is GameSotics here. Hope you enjoyed the video again. Please do like the video if you really like it.